uh, what is an optimal work environment, and as an individual, what is my role to complement an optimal work environment?
Right. So when it comes to optimal work environment, I'd like to talk about bystander effect.
Okay.
So here, many of us feel that this optimal work environment is something that is supposed to be bestowed on us. Like the management is on the whole responsible for creating an optimal work environment. I'll just sit back and wait and watch.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, to see if the optimal work environment is provided for me or not. But no, this is something that we all actively contribute to. Each player is important. We are simultaneously creating and enjoying this.
Okay.
That is an optimal work environment. So to describe certain traits, certain factors that make an environment optimal, one is there is definitely respect, dignity of the individual is maintained, roles are very clearly defined. The person is not doubtful about what he or she needs to do in order to get recognition and feedback. That's quite clear, and they're not afraid about making mistakes.
Okay.
They see mistakes as an opportunity to grow, and psychologically they feel safe. I've heard many employees saying, oh my God, Monday has come, I have to go to work, I feel the dread. Right? So an optimal work environment creates safety. It actually brings a smile to your face. You feel calmer. Your nervous system is also calmer in an optimal work environment. And other things, there is presence of mentors and guides, there is open communication channel, there is opportunity for individuals to experience mastery and sense of satisfaction, to explore and learn. So these make up an optimal work environment. Now, how do we as individuals contribute to it? Now, that could be a whole webinar in itself, but to quickly touch upon 4 thought processes that can contribute to an optimal work environment. Demanding thoughts, awfulizing thoughts, intolerance thoughts, and downing thoughts.
Okay.
So a demanding thought. See, we all have expectations. We all have wants and desires. I want something out of my workplace. You want something out of your workplace. And that's fine. We all have our desires. But we need to differentiate between a want, a preference, and a demand. A want is something we all have. A preference, again, okay, we can prefer that I want this and I would prefer it to happen. But then when we move it to a demand, saying I want it and therefore this is how it should be,
okay.
this is how it must be, then that demand creates a lot of disappointment, pain, helplessness, and in turn it reflects in our attitude. We start feeling very irritable and angry, and that collapses the work environment. So maintaining our preferences, saying, okay, I want all this, it is fair that I want all this, I have very good reasons for wanting all of this, but reasons are sometimes not sufficient for everything to materialize as we want it. So managing our expectations.
Got it.
Saying that, okay, it would be great if it happened, but if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. It is an inconvenience, it's a small disappointment. Right? And second one is awfulizing thoughts. Awfulizing is where we always jump to the extreme conclusion. We say, let's say we're having a bad day at work, or there's some trouble. So immediately what our mind will say, this is how it's going to be every single time. This is how it has always been. Right? We globalize it.
Got it.
And this is so terrible, awful, I can't take it, this is so bad. Right? While that might be true on some level, we never stop to question ourselves, okay, by awfulizing this, what are we gaining? Does it make us feel good about the situation? Does it offer a solution to us? No, so awfulizing might temporarily make us feel good, but in the long run, it actually brings down our positivity. It makes us feel very negative about work. So managing your own inner terminology, when your mind is saying awful, ask yourself, is it awful or just a bad day? Right? Not as you expected it to be. Maybe not great, but it's okay. Right? That's sort of a differentiation. Third is frustration intolerance. We all know that certain things are beyond our control. But then we say, no, I can't accept that. I won't take it. I can't stand it. But this is where we're confusing between difficulty and impossibility. See, certain things, certain disappointments, setbacks are difficult to take, difficult to accept. But difficult does not mean impossible. It is still possible to develop tolerance, still possible to develop acceptance. And when I say acceptance, again, I don't mean resignation. I mean embracing, looking at the reality for what it is, so that we can bring about change.
Acknowledging it and understanding this is what it is, yeah.
Yes, that sort of acceptance. I'm doing it for my own sake. Nobody's forcing me to accept anything. I am choosing to accept it so that I can be at peace and look for options, see, how to go about it.
Got it.
And then finally, downing. There are 3 kinds of downing. We put ourselves down, We put down another person or we put down an organization.
Okay.
So this happens because of overgeneralization. Say for instance, we all have limitations. Every organization also has limitations. Every manager also has limitations. Nobody is perfect. But what do? We equate the person to the limitation. We say, oh, this company is like this organization itself is like this, my manager is like this. But that's just a single trait. That's just one aspect of it. So when we reduce the organization or the manager to these labels, we feel stuck. There's only bitterness and unhappiness.
Got it.
So recognizing that I am more than my limitations, so is my manager, so is my organization. There is both good and bad there. I can't always expect the good and keep rejecting the bad. Sometimes I need to be open to both. And apart from that, these are 4 thoughts that you can monitor. Apart from that, bringing in a positive vibe to the workplace is important.
Always.
See, what you sow is what you reap. If you are going to be very sour, very rigid, lack flexibility, inadvertently you are also contributing to such an environment, right? So as much as possible, bringing in a positive vibe, maintaining decorum, sticking to the rules of the team, and drawing clear boundaries, all of that will definitely make it easier to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for answering all these questions. So viewers, I hope all these questions that Nandini answered with respect to toxic workplace, toxic traits, and will help each one of us to think about it, to introspect and apply certain principles that were spoken here, so that we convert all these toxic traits into a healthy work environment. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.